Hi, my name is Ken.
And my name is Jason.
And today we're reviewing
Thunderstone. Thunderstone was published in 2009 by AEG.
The background of Thunderstone is that when the world began, a mysterious entity brought Thunderstones to the world. Most of these are now lost, but some of them actually can still be found.
Thunderstone is a deck-building card game, and the deck of each player represents a group of guards and adventurers and all of their stuff. And, you know, they're going into a dungeon to try and claim the first of the Thunderstones. So first of all, Thunderstone comes with cards. Lots of cards. Now, this actually includes the Wrath of the Elements cards here too, but Thunderstone still comes with probably about 67% of these, so there's a lot of stuff included. These are the 4 basic cards. So there are Torches, Iron Rations, Daggers, and Militia. So these are what the village cards look like. Now, I'm not going to show all of them, obviously, because there are quite a few, but this is a good example, Arcane Energies. And there are also these randomizer cards that help you pick random village cards for each game. So these are some of the hero cards. Again, I'm not going to show them all. And they come in bronze, silver, and gold. And these are the various levels of these types of heroes. And they also have randomizer cards, just like the village cards. These are some of the dungeon cards. So these are the sort of monsters in the ooze category, and they also come with randomizers as well. And these are some of the miscellaneous cards for Thunderstone. So this is the actual Thunderstone that comes with the game. It only comes with 1. These are experience cards, and these are disease cards.
To set up Thunderstone, retrieve the Thunderstone, and all the base cards from the box. Also retrieve the experience and disease cards from the box and have them handy. Retrieve the randomizer cards for the village cards, the heroes, and the monster cards. To set up the randomizer cards, you need to choose 8 village cards, 4 hero cards, and 3 monster cards. You can do this by either shuffling up the deck and randomly determining them. You could draft the cards by handing them to all players and then having each one choose a card. Or you could just simply go by some of the base set sort of configurations. We're going to use the cards that are recommended for your first time play so that maybe you don't have to. Place your selected village cards in a 2x4 grid here. Place your selected hero cards up at the top, and your selected monsters up here at the top. Next step is to retrieve the piles of each of these cards from the box. And place them all out like such. If you're actually following us at home, this is going to take a little while for you. Through the magic of video editing, this has only been a couple seconds of time lapse, but this is easily a good 10-minute process. Feel free to pause the video at this point if you like. Make sure that the heroes are organized by level. As Jason mentioned in components, there are actually 3 different levels for each different hero. You want to make sure that all the level 1s are on top, the level 2s are beneath them, and all the level 3s are on the bottom. After you've organized your heroes, it's now time to organize the dungeon. Take the 3 monster types that you've chosen, make sure they're shuffled up real nice, and place them up at the top here. Now this is where the Thunderstone comes in. Take 10 cards off the top of the dungeon deck, place the Thunderstone within them, and then shuffle those up real nice. Take this configuration of 11 cards that you now have, and put them underneath the dungeon deck, and place that all up top. Now, before you start play, form the dungeon. This is rank 1. This is rank 2. And this is rank 3. We'll get into what those mean specifically in the next section. You must next make the starting deck for each player, which is comprised of 6 militia, 2 torches, 2 iron rations, and 2 daggers. Take your starting decks and shuffle them up nicely. Hand them to each player, and make sure you give everybody a turn order card as well. Each player draws their starting hand of 6, and now you are ready to play.
Now in Thunderstone, there aren't really any phases per se. Basically, during each player's turn, that player can choose one of three options. They can choose to visit the village, visit the dungeon, or rest. If the player chooses to visit the village, then first of all, they have to reveal their hand. Next, if the player has any village effects on any of his cards, then he can use those. Then the player may produce gold, so he counts up the gold values for all of his cards. In this case, only one card has gold value, the Iron Rations, and that gives the player 2. Next, the player may purchase one card of up to that value. Now in this case, there aren't really many options. The only two cards that the player could potentially buy are Iron Rations, which cost 2, or the Militia, which costs 0. This will change as the game goes on. Next, the player may choose to level up any heroes in his hand, and he does this by discarding any experience he has gained, and the cost for doing so is actually listed at the bottom left of each hero card. So to level up a Militia, it costs 3. Finally, at the end of the turn, the player discards his hand and draws 6 new cards from his deck, and play then continues to the next player. The next option is to visit the dungeon, which is these 3 cards here. Again, the first step is to reveal the player's hand. The player may then use any dungeon effects on any of his cards, and then the player must choose which monster and rank he is attacking. So again, this is rank 1, rank 2, and rank 3. After he's declared his target, he resolves the battle, and we'll get into that a little bit later. And then, again, he ends his turn by discarding his entire hand and drawing 6 new cards, and then passing it on to the next player. The final option is the rest option. The rest option is generally not used that much. It's only if you happen to have a lot of disease cards in your hand, or if you have a lot of useless cards in your hand. But basically you just choose one card in your hand, destroy it, meaning it's removed from the game permanently, and then you discard the rest of your hand and draw up 6 cards.
Next we're going to go over how you resolve battle. The player must first reveal their hand. Next you have to add up the attack values and all that sort of stuff. Attack +1 from this Militia, another +1 from this one. I have a Thyrene Squire, who provides attack +2. I have a Warhammer that my Thyrene Squire is actually able to hold because he has enough strength. Gives me an additional attack +3. And finally I have a Wizard, which gives me magical attack +2. Now, unless the cards that you're up against specify a resistance or immunity or weakness to magical or physical attack, you just assume that this attack value is just all added together. In all, I have a total of 9 attack. Once you determine the bonuses granted to you by your cards, you then decide which rank and which monster you're going to be attacking. I'm choosing to attack rank 2, which is going to be against the Nixie. Next, resolve any battle effects on your cards, or on the actual monsters that you're fighting. The Nixie itself does not actually have any battle effects. If you note, it actually has blank text here. However, if I was fighting, say, the Grey Ooze, their effect is battle, destroy one hero unless at least one weapon is attached to the party. So in this particular case, if I were fighting the Ooze, since I have a Warhammer, that means that the battle effect would not come into play. Because I'm attacking a monster in rank 2, that means I have a -4 penalty due to light. However, I have 2 cards, the Elf Wizard and the Torch, which provide 1 light each. For each point of light that your cards can provide, this actually reduces the light penalty that you receive to your attack value by 2. In this way, you can sort of consider the light penalty to be built up in ranks. Regardless though, I've negated the light penalty entirely on rank 2. The Nixie only has 5 health, and as I already declared, I have 9 attack, so I overwhelm and destroy this Nixie. In case I went into this dungeon and I was unprepared, or I attacked something I couldn't defeat, and I was defeated, the defeated monster would actually be returned to the bottom of the deck. Since that is not the case, and I have actually defeated this monster, I take the monster into my discard pile. If the monster had any battle effects that would incur disease cards, I would take those into my discard pile now as well. I also gain the experience value of the monster in question, so in this case I gain 1 experience point. The remaining monsters in the dungeon shift towards rank 1. And then the dungeon hall is filled again. If any creature has a breach effect, the breach effect is actually resolved once, when it reaches rank 1 the first time, and then it is not resolved again, unless it says otherwise. My hand of cards is then discarded, and 6 new cards are then drawn. When you go into the dungeon, you can actually pick and choose different cards in your hand to actually use or not. Any card with a star beside the effect actually must be used. So in the case of a disease card, diseases must always be used. You are required to use them in every time, because they are a negative effect, really.
So now we'll go over the various pieces and parts of the cards. Village cards will always have a gold value listed here, and that determines how much gold you have to use to buy things. And some monsters and some heroes will also have this value. All of the cards may have a light value listed just down here. In this case, I only have one out with a light value, just the Elf Archmage has 2. Heroes and certain village cards, particularly the weapons, will have either strength or weight values. So heroes can have strength, and weapons will have weight values. To use a given weapon with a given hero, the hero must have equal or greater strength than the weight of the weapon. Hero and village cards will also have costs, which are listed just at the bottom of the picture here, and that's how much it costs to purchase them in the village. Below that are traits. So in this case, the Elf Archmage is a wizard, and Magical Aura is a spell. There's typically some game text down here, although some cards don't have it. If the card grants victory points, then that will be listed in the bottom right here. In this case, it's 2. If the card grants experience, or if it can be leveled up using experience, that value will be listed here. So the only things that will grant experience generally are monsters, and the only things that will use experience are heroes. The only heroes that will not have an experience cost to level up are the 3rd level heroes, because they've already been leveled up as far as they can go. All cards will have a type icon just here on the left hand side. This is the monster icon, this is the village icon, and this is the hero icon. The hero icon will also include a number which shows the level of that hero. And finally, monsters will also have a health value shown in the upper right here. This is just how much attack you have to achieve in order to defeat that monster.
Next, we're going to go over how light works, because this is often a common confusion for most players, especially when first starting this game. Each rank of the dungeon has a cumulative -2 light penalty. The first rank is -2, the second rank is -4, and the third rank is -6. However, there are some monsters, such as the Blink Dog, which actually give a light penalty as well. If you'll note, the light penalty granted by the Blink Dog is light -1. This actually means that for the purposes of negating the light penalty of the dungeon, you are considered to have 1 less light in their rank. So, if you were to face off against the Blink Dog is in rank 2, which currently on its own has -4 applied to it as a light penalty. However, with the Blink Dog's -1 light, it's actually -6. So, assumedly, you would start off at 0 light. The Blink Dog would put you at -1 light. With an item such as the Torch, which has 1 light, this would bring me back up to 0 light. In this way, each card that actually provides a light bonus negates -2 of the light penalty. Light penalty is the penalty applied to each rank of the dungeon, and that's the cumulative -2 that's going on there. Whereas light is the amount of light being brought into the dungeon. I will note that there are many cards that actually have this negative light effect, and each -1 light that you have provides a -2 penalty to your total attack in the end. However, there's no limit to the amount of negative light you can actually have. So in theory, you could be at -10, -20 light penalty, which would be -5 light and -10 light respectively. To simplify this, you can kind of consider each rank to be the equivalent of -1 light. Rank 1 is -1 light, rank 2 is -2 light, rank 3 is -3 light. I know this is a little confusing, so I hope this does help. Next, we're going to go over how leveling up works in this game. You can only level up your heroes when you visit the village. When you visit the village, you may level up as many heroes as you have, as long as you have the experience to do it. The amount of experience required to level up a hero is listed at the bottom right of the card. When you choose to level up a hero, you must spend the experience at the bottom of the card, returning it to the pile, and you must destroy the hero card that you have. In the case of Militia, Militia can actually level up into any of the first level heroes available. I will note, though, that if there are no first level heroes available of any given type, the Militia cannot level up. So we'll say this Militia levels up into a Thyrien Squire. I would then add that to my discard pile and then draw up my cards as normal, etc. If I instead were to be leveling up a first level hero, I would actually have to level it up along their own path. So in the case of the Logrid Thief, I have to discard 2 experience, destroy the thief, and then retrieve the second level thief from the hero deck. If you go through the appropriate hero deck and there is not a level 2 version of a level 1 hero you're trying to level up, that hero can actually not level up. You would actually take the hero back and throw it back in your discard pile rather than destroying it, and take back the experience. You don't lose that. In fact, at any point you can actually check to see if there are any heroes of that appropriate type. Next we're going to go over how the game ends. The game ends when the Thunderstone reaches rank 1. The Thunderstone moves through the dungeon like a monster. If a player defeated a monster in rank 1, and this causes the Thunderstone to be pushed to rank 1, then they may claim the Thunderstone. Otherwise, no one can. After the Thunderstone breaches, that is, it reaches rank 1, all players count victory points in the deck and the highest points wins. So to determine who's going first, we're going to have a rousing game of combat from Dungeon Quest. Seems Jason's going first.
Alright, so for my turn, I'm choosing to visit the village. So first of all, I reveal my hand. I don't have any village effects currently to use. I have 3 gold, 2 from a torch and 1 from a dagger. So now I can choose 1 village card to purchase worth up to 3. I'm going to choose to get a town guard. So I put this in my discard pile. Then I put the remaining cards from my hand in the discard pile. And I draw up to 6 cards. It's now Ken's turn.
For my action, I am also going to visit the village. I reveal my hand, and I have 3 coins. I also choose to take a town guard. I put that into my discard pile, discard the remainder of my cards, and then draw back up to 6. It's now Jason's turn again.
Alright, so we're a few more turns in. It is now the beginning of my turn. And I am choosing to go to the village. So, first of all, I reveal my hand. I am going to use the village effect on the town guard, which is draw 2 cards. Alright, next I'm going to add up my gold. In this case I have 8 gold altogether, 2 each from the 2 iron rations, the Logrid Thief and the Pegasus. So, I'm going to choose to purchase a Thyrien Squire. So I take the Squire, I discard it. Next, I choose to level up my Logrid Thief. So that's going to cost me 2 experience, which I just happen to have. The experience goes back into the pool. I destroy the thief. And I get a level 2 thief. That is placed in my discard pile on top of the Thyrien Squire. Finally, I discard all of my hand. And I draw 6 more cards. It's now Ken's turn.
Alright, I'm choosing to go to the dungeon. I'm choosing to attack rank 3 against this griffin here. I reveal my hand, and resolve any dungeon effects. I'm going to use the dungeon effect of the iron rations to give this militia 2 strength. This is actually going to give him enough strength to actually be able to wield the short sword. Another dungeon effect I have right now, all heroes gain attack +1. So both militia and the elf sorcerer are all gaining attack +1. The elf sorcerer that I have gives me 2 light, which is going to negate 4 of the light penalty that's currently in place against me in rank 3. I currently have a total attack of 12. The rank 3 griffin over here still provides a -2 light penalty against me. This reduces my total bonus to 10. However, my 10 versus the Griffin's 7 hit points is enough for me to win. I defeat this Griffin, which goes into my discard pile. I claim 2 more experience points. I flip a card to repopulate the dungeon. I didn't have to shift the rest of the cards because they were already in order. I'm going to discard the rest of my hand. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, and Jason's turn again.
So what do you think of Thunderstone, Ken?
I really do like this game. I really am a big fan of this deck building card game genre that's sort of becoming more prevalent now. Thunderstone, fantastic artwork too. You gotta really credit AEG for that. Like Absolutely. When they put out like decent games, they put out really good artwork too. I had a few things that sort of stopped me from really loving this game though the first time. For one, like the organization of the box in the initial set was really hard.
It was horrendous.
I actually dreaded setting up this game. I always wanted to play it, but I never wanted to set it up. And when I did set it up, I was like, I want to get 3 or 4 games of this in, so I don't have to set it up again and again.
Yeah.
And all that sort of jazz. The rulebook also is a little bit hard to kind of navigate around, yeah. And unfortunately there are also some sort of clunky rule mechanics in there as well.
Well, yeah, I mean, in particular, and this is the one thing that starting players really have a hard time with, it's the light mechanic.
Oh, absolutely, it's the light mechanic.
Like, I don't understand, like, I kind of understand what they were going for, mm-hmm. But at the same time, they're using essentially the same word for 2 different things. Like, they have light, and you have light penalty, but you can also have penalties to the light.
Which isn't the same as a light penalty, though.
Exactly, and it's very confusing, even to, veteran gamers. Wow, it's really dark down here in this dungeon, but we're only at rank 1, so did you bring some light, Ken?
Yeah, I brought a torch! But that's only going to reduce our light penalty by 1.
No, it actually increases our light by 1, which reduces our light penalty by 2.
Wait, what?
Well, yeah, because, light and light penalty are 2 different things, so...
What about the blink dog?
Yeah, hi.
Well, the blink dog actually reduces the light, so it increases light penalty.
Oh. We can't fight the blink dog, can we?
No.
Oh, boo-hoo, no light.
And, there was no reason for this. They could have easily just, doubled the light on all the cards and just had it all as the same thing. So there's no reason to have 2 different mechanics there when, you could have just used 1. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I'll bring out the torch next time.
Okay.
Now, to be fair, this is actually a pretty new game. We don't want to sound like we're actually harping on this game, because it is actually pretty good. And the problems with the light penalty, it just seems like one of those things that sort of fell through the cracks.
Well, yeah, probably.
I mean, and you know how it is. Hindsight is always 20/20. Mm-hmm. Another beef I usually have with this game, though, is the starting of the game is usually really, really slow. Pretty much guaranteed you're never going to see the dungeon for the first little while, at least usually the first 2 or 3 rounds.
Yeah.
At least you have to cycle through your deck at least 2 or 3 times before you're actually really going to see the dungeon. Mm-hmm. And because of the randomization of the dungeon cards, not even just the fact of the starting cards usually just aren't enough to actually really get you into the dungeon. There may be the rare hand and the rare configuration where the first monster you might be able to get out. But more often than not, just because all the monsters are randomized and there's various levels of difficulty of the monsters and all the different types of monsters, very frequently you end up seeing the first 3 monster cards you get at the beginning of the game are often high tier, hardest level creatures that you could possibly fight in the dungeon. And it's well, great. Basically, we're just going to sit in the village, sit on our hands, and hope for the best that we're going to get some decent draws in the next little while, so we can buy the decent things and then go into the dungeon. I think I would have liked to see the randomization of the dungeon be a little less random. So if they had ranked the monsters by level, so if they had say levels 1 through 3. Of monsters, and then so all the level 1 monsters are all shuffled together and put on top. All the level 2 monsters are shuffled together and put under the level 1s. All the level 3 monsters and the Thunderstone are shuffled together and put on the bottom. I think that probably would have been a little bit more forgivable. But Well, forgivable is probably the wrong word here. That would have been a little bit nicer to to starting players.
Yeah.
But this is a forgivable thing because I mean these are all things that on the player side we can actually fix if we wanted to.
Well, yeah, and I mean, when it comes down to it, aside from all of the confusion and all the problems with the game, I mean, it's actually a really good game.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
And one of the things I really love about it is that AEG has really they have supported this. There's a couple of expansions already. There's another one on the way, and they've actually listened to their fans about some of the problems. Like in particular, as Kenny mentioned, the box for the first set was horrendous, and it was impossible to organize your cards. But in the second expansion, they actually have a box that's specifically set up so that you can organize all of the cards from all of the expansions
in a nice and neat fashion.
Yeah, and it actually comes with dividers for the individual cards. So
real dividers. Like the first one came with dividers, but the dividers didn't really help that much. They really didn't.
No, so I like to see it that if the company could improve the game, and they do, that's something I really like about this.
Absolutely, yeah. And AEG has been nothing but helpful in terms of making sure that this game is actually because it is a good game, had lots of potential starting off, and they're making sure that people are still interested in it. And the fact that they have as many expansions as they do already, like a number of expansions comparable to say like Dominion. All right, Jason Thunderstone, what would you like to say?
I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Cool.
I mean, again, there are a lot of problems with the core set, but at the same time, it's still a great game once you get past all that. So.
I've been sort of mulling this over in my head for a little while. I think I'm gonna have to give it a 3.5 out of 5 though.
Okay.
And the main reason that I'm doing that is because they fixed most of the problems that the base set has, but I'm trying to rate this game like impartially, and I'm trying to rate this game as it was, not as it will become when all the things come out. So I'm gonna have to stay 3.5, which is too bad because I really would like to give this game higher, but it's like 3.5 is still ain't that bad. So yeah, it's still a really good game. Well, that's gonna give us a grand total of 7.5 meeples.
Alright, so that's it for Thunderstone. Join us next time for Power Grid.
See you next time and have good games. Hi, my name is Ken.
And my name is Jason.
And today we're reviewing
BoardGasm.
Wait a second, Jason. BoardGasm isn't a game.
Sure it isn't. It's a lot of games.
Ah, you're right. BoardGasm is actually a day for new and veteran gamers to meet together and play games. If you're local to the Halifax area or looking to hang out with some people who are looking to play some board games, you can join us at the Dallas Student Union Building on July 16th from 12 to 9.
Registration at the door will be $10, and if you pre-register through our website, it is only $8.
And if you're a member of the Nova Scotia Board Gaming Society, you get $1 off of the entry to all events, which includes this one.
As always, we are also looking for some volunteers to run board games at BG, so if you're interested, please contact us.
That's right, and if you want to join the Nova Scotia Board Gaming Society, you can do that online, or we'll actually be accepting new memberships at the BoardGasm event on July 16th.
For more information on any of this, please check out www.boardgasm.org.
Hope to see you there, and hope you have good games.